Come on, Shiva.
One was on the path of material progress, trying to develop himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high elevation, and modeling beauty is not I always are you who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied and therefore you are the most tender and are master of the bodies. My lord, I consider your lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, and all pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse.
O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial.
Of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work through that you work though you are inactive, and that you take birth though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflowed with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me.
जन्मेश्वर्या श्रुताश्रीभिर् एदामनामदा पुमन् नैवार्ते अभितुतुम्बे त्वं न किञ्चन गोचरम् First. जन्मेश्वर्या श्रुताश्रीभिर् एदामानापदां पुनम् नैवादृतिर्भितातुं वे त्वं किञ्चन गोचरम् जन्मेश्वर्या श्रुताश्रीभिर् एदामनामदापुमन् नैवार्ते अभिवतुं वे त्वं किञ्चन गोचरम्. Hare Krishna. So we can read the synonyms all together. Janma, birth. Aishwarya, opulence. Shruta, education. Shribhi, by the possessions of beauty. Edamana, progressively increasing. Mada, intoxication. Puman, the human being. No, never. Eva, ever. Arhati, deserves. Bitum, to address in feeling. Ve, certainly. Tvam, you. Akenchana Gocharam, one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. We can first do the invocation prayers, I forgot. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. नारायं नरस्कृत्यं नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. The Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances in the personality of Godhead unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, and unto Mother Swati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shila Vyasdev, the author. Nashtaprayashu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistaki. By regular attendance in the classes on the Bhagavatam and by entering of the service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Loving service unto the personality of Godhead is with transcendental knowledge, established as an irrevocable fact. Kamrutivachalam pangam laikate girim yatkrapatam maham mande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Obeisance on the master.
This must be the down and gratitude never selling or mountains.
Now we can go to translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable percentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty cannot approach you with your sincere feeling. Purport. Okay, there, Prabhu.
Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocrat family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency, but there is a quality to such utterance also. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, good wealth, high education, and attractive beauty, are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. The material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature, as much as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, such improvement is a good sign as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God.
Thank you. So here in this verse first of all comes after the prayers of Queen Kunti, and then in this verse she's saying, "My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted." And then he's saying, "One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty cannot approach you with sincere feeling." So we all know that they're talking about the pride. So Janma, the Janmeshwarya, this Janma is birth, and then Aishwarya means opulence, Shruta education, Shribi by the possession of beauty. So these four things Prabhupada also talked in the purport. And then they say the main problem is this mada, intoxication, and this one intoxication is of intoxication of pride. So whoever in this material world have pride of these four things, it's very difficult for them to first of all advance and then to approach Krishna. And then the main goal will be the akinchana gocharam, which is one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. So here they are talking about akinchana means nothing is mine, everything is of Krishna. So kinchana means that. So for this we can see the example which we discussed few days ago maybe of Uttara, how she was perfect. She was having all these four things: born in a good family, opulence, and then Shruta, good education, Shri be the possession of beauty. She was beautiful, but then still she had to face some things because of the Ashwadham and other things. So still she was not like, I have all these things and still Krishna, you are not helping me in this. It was not her that. And Uttara has also played very important role in our Krishna consciousness, in our Gaudiya Sampradaya as well. So so what was it? So now I had made PPT this long time ago, but I was like, where to use this? So we can use this. Um, how to do that? Represent. Okay. Yeah. So we'll be discussing about from discovery to devotion. So this discovery was actually done by our acharyas, and then this discovery actually happened by Vrajranab, who was the great grandson of Krishna. So after Krishna went back to Goloka, he was already there, and then he was still here. But when he practically, when we know that okay, Krishna is not on earth anymore, and after that, after some lineages, Vrajanab, who was the great grandson of Krishna, he thought to how I can make Krishna relevant in this world. How can people remember Krishna? So he was the one who went and then made the temples in Vrindavan. And then he made some very important temples of our Gaudiya Vaishnava, which we have. So then which are like, so for introduction is like, so Braja Mandal centered on Vrindavan and Mathura is conceived in Gaudiya theology as Nitya Lila Sthan, the eternal focus of divine manifestation. The six Goswamis articulated its theological geography, integrating Rasa Tattva with deity worship as a lived metaphysical system. The later translocation of deities to Rajasthan reflects community of security beyond spatial description, affirming the transcendence of Archa Vigraha presence. So this, so right today we'll be talking about the three deities which represent Sambandha, Avidya, and Projan. So Vrajapalka Prabhu touched that topic, but then he came back, and this is my favorite topic. I was like, why he didn't go in deep into that in his class, which he gave on my Friday. So you can see. So first of all, there are six Goswamis, right? We know, and then the first two Goswamis, which the senior Goswami is like Sanatana Goswami, and then there is Rupa Goswami, and then there is Raghunath Das Goswami, and then there is Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, then Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and the lastly Jeev Goswami. So we'll talk about the three Goswamis, which is Sanatana Goswami, who was born in 1488, and then Rupa Goswami, who was born in 1489, and Raghunath Das Goswami, 1495. So Rupa and Goswami, Sanatan and Rupa Goswami were actually all the Goswamis were from very good background with good amount of money, very good amount of money. Even if you compare that time, the funds they have, even if you compare right now, still they'll be very rich. And then a lot of gold, everything. But still, they all the six Goswamis choose to take the path of renunciation. And then Sanatan and Rupa first were living in the Ramkeli, and then from Ramkeli, they got to know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here, and then they went and then they meet, and then after these 2 3 meetings, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them the initiation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave only once initiation, and that was also not initiation properly. He didn't give any Brahminical thread. At that time, it was only one initiation, like either the Brahminical thread and then after that sannyas if you want. So he just touched both. He gave blessings like this, and then he gave them the names Rupa and Sanatan. And Raghunath Das Goswami, his background is like so when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so the Madhya Lila is actually the 6 years when so first of all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived for 48 years, and then for 48 years, first 24 years he was in Navadvip. Then at age of 24 he took sannyas, and then when he took sannyas at the age of 24 he started traveling, because in sannyas you have to travel. That's why our Bhakti Swami Maharaj always travels. And if you see all the sannyasis in our ISKCON, they're always traveling and preaching. So that is the main goal of sannyasi. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first traveled to South India for 6 years, from the age of 26 till 30. In those 6 years, so when Chaturmas comes, it says that one should stay at one place and then there do sadhana at that place only. So during that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at the place of maybe Kashi Mishra, I believe. Not sure, but yeah, uh, in South India. And then there, Raghunath Das Goswami, he used to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So from there, he was like, I want to take sannyas. And he was a child at that time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, you have to wait. We'll give you some time, and after that, you come. But he was like, no, I want to take sannyas. But then he tried his best. They had 3 meetings, and after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you should, in one of the meetings, he said, you should first focus on taking care of your parents first. So he took care of his parents. After his parents went back to Golok, he came. And then Mahaprabhu told him that, okay, you join the six Goswamis. So he was representing kind of, you can say, renunciation in one of the six Goswami. And all the six Goswami represent different things. And then we can see there is what is Radha Madan Mohan ji and Radha Govind Dev ji and Radha Gopinath ji. So this is like this. Sanatan Goswami is the founder Acharya of Radha Madan Mohan ji. I believe I have next slide. Yeah. So we can say, see here, we have 3 stages of advancement in our Krishna consciousness. First is Sambandha, which means our relationship with Krishna. Second is Abhideya, which is how are we acting in that relationship. And third is the Prayojana, which is the pure love. So Sambandha represents by the deity named Sri Radha Madan Mohanji. And Sri Radha Madan Mohanji was the first deity in Vrindavan from the 5,000 temples we have. And then the second, and Sambandha was under the care of actually. So, how was the story? It was like, so there was a Kapoor Ramdas. So, first of all, this deity was found by Advaitacharya when Advaitacharya was living in Vrindavan. And then after that, Advaitacharya was taking care of this deity. At that time, this deity named was Madan Gopal. And while he was taking care, it was only one deity, only Krishna, not Radharani with, only Krishna. It was Madan Gopal. And then after he knew that, okay, my Leela is going to end soon. So he gave that deity to this family, Kapoor Ramdas family. And they were living in Mathura. And after that, Sanatan Goswami once went to that place where this Kapoor Ramdas family was living, and they used to worship Madan Gopal ji at that time. And Sanatan Goswami saw that some children are playing, and then there is one children whose color is like the monsoon cloud. And then he was like, he's so beautiful. And then he got so attracted to a kid. But sannyasi should not be, attracted to, he should not have affection for someone. He should be only Krishna. And I mean, his disciples were devotees, but yes, he should not have affection like this. And then he was like, I should not have this. And they represent, it's Goswami. He's not like a normal person. So he was like, I should not have this. But then he was like, there is something wrong. If there is, I have this attraction, there should be something. So he followed that guy, and then that guy went, and then he went inside the temple, and he then locked the door from inside. Nathan Goswami was knock knock, no one is coming, and then he opened the door, Sanatana Goswami, and then he saw there is only the deity of Madan Gopal, and then he got to know, okay, this is that boy was playing with other children. So how Krishna is like, he was playing at that time and still he was not fulfilled with that. He came again and then he's still playing, and then he's still playing in Vrindavan. We cannot see with our eyes, but he was still playing. So this sambandha was actually established by Sanatana Goswami. So we can say the Sambandha Acharya, if you ever hear, okay, this Acharya, that Acharya. So we have a Sambandha Acharya, which says Sanatana Goswami. And then we have the Abhidaya, which is Sri Radha Govind Dev Ji. This was founded by Rupa Goswami, established by Rupa Goswami. And he's also the Abhidaya Acharya. So, and then we have the Prayojana, which is the deity of Shri Radha Gopinathji, which was founded by Paramananda Bhattacharya. So, Paramananda Bhattacharya and established by Madhu Pandit. Yeah. So, Madhu Pandit was actually the priest of this. So it's very so when I was hearing about these topics and reading about this, researching about this, so I had this confusion. The question I also shared with some people in Bhakti Academy that okay, I had this question. Which question was like, so if you see here, uh, established by Sanatana Goswami, and it was worshipped by Sanatana Goswami as well. Abhidaya as well, founded by Rupa Goswami and established by Rupa Goswami as well. And then Prayojana, which is established by Madhu Pandit, means established means he was doing the seva over there, the deity worship and taking care, and founded by Paramananda Bhattacharya. So both were intimate friends. But the Prayojana Acharya, P. Acharya, is Raghunath Das Goswami. I was like, why? If you see others, they founded the deity, they worship the deity, they got that title. But why Raghunath Das Goswami got this title? So the answer is that they are the Nitya Siddhas. So it's not like they founded those deities. That's why they are called those acharyas. He's he's called Prayojanacharya because his teachings are like this. So if you see Sanatana Goswami, his sambandha means relationship. So if you see Hari Bhakti Vilas, Hari Bhakti Vilas is all about this. How is our relationship with Krishna, this and that. And then if you see Rupa Goswami, he's given us Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrit. So Upadeshamrit only tells about how a devotee should be, how he should act. And Raghunath Das Goswami, whatever is given Vigda Madhva and Lalita Madhva, which are like which tells about the pure love for Krishna and Radha. So these three deities represent that. And then if we see the meanings and significance, it is same. Meaning to bind, to connect together, to express, or to act upon, to engage, or to attain. So why I was like Uttara has, you know, a lot of the Uttara Devi has a lot of contribution in this. So these deities were made by um, these deities were I don't remember if it is the Vishwakarma who carved them, but I remember Vrajnap has took care of this, and then so these deities were made by one kind of stone. It's the same stone from which these three deities have been made. Anyone want to guess something? Which stone is that? Yes, it is Govardhan. So it is Govardhan. So and there is one more thing. It is the Govardhan on which Krishna stood while picking the Govardhan Shila. There was a black marble from Govardhan. And then we had the Krishna footprints on that. And then from that marble, these three deities were made. Madan Mohanji, Govind Devji, and Gopinathji. And then when three deities were made, they were made little bit different, little bit some deities eyes are different, some deities nose are different, and then they were like how to get it, okay, which one is that. And then Uttara, she was the only one till that time who was present uh, in the earth, who has seen Krishna. So she was the only one who can tell which deity represents Krishna. She was like, all of them are Krishna in full. But the Sambandha, which is Madan Mohanji, it represents the feet of Krishna. The feet of that deity were the as similar as Krishna's feet were. And then the Abhidya deity, which is Govind Devji, is the face of Krishna. So Govind Devji is face, Madan Mohanji is the feet. And then the Prayojana, deity, which is Shri Gopinath ji, is the heart of Krishna, heart, or you can say the chest part. So, and this three things I took from one of the purport. Yeah, this reference CC Adi 147, which says Diksha Guru in the personal manifestation of Sri Radha Madan Mohan ji. So, our Diksha Guru represents Sri Radha Madan Mohan ji. Govind Dev ji acts as the Siksha Guru. And Srila Gopinath ji is the ultimate attraction to the spiritual realization, also known as Raganuga Bhakti, you can say. And then how it was actually constructed. So we'll not go into too much details because we don't have that time. But what we can share is one interesting fact we can share about these deities. So Madan Mohanji deities, what actually happened was, actually this was also shared by Vishaka Prabhu. So I can share one more thing rather than this. So this is very good that, oh, okay, Sanatana Goswami had nothing, right? So he was making leaves and he was making the clothes for there with the leaves and with flowers. And then he didn't have any money. And then he was like, I have to do and he's the one who has taught this deity worship. He represents he is the guru of our deity worship. He has taught everyone. And then he was like, and then Krishna says once, the Madan Mohan deity, that I am not satisfied. You're giving me this dough, the one we have, the whole wheat dough. And then what he used to do, he used to go and beg first, Sanatana Goswami, from houses, and then he used to get some flour. And then after that, he comes, he picks some Yamuna water, he mix it, he makes a dough. And then after that, he puts that dough in some hot places, or like you can say chulas. And then he puts there, and then whatever is there, he takes out, and then he just offers it the same. So it is very sweet how they do this. And then Yamuna water, I was thinking, I was then, and I can imagine, okay, he's mixing, and then this Yamuna water, and then when you make a dough, if you make a dough, okay, he'll be making this. And then Sanatana Goswami, very thin personality, making this, and then he's making this, and then he's offering it to Madan Mohanji. And then Madan Mohanji is like, how is Madan Mohanji? Is like, he's saying, you're giving me this without any ghee or something. Okay. And then he was like, at least give me some salt, Baba. And then he used to say, Baba, right? Give me some salt, Baba. Because these are called Babas, right? They didn't have any Jinayu. Our Goswamis didn't have any Jinayu. Yeah, they were Babas. And then uh, I was like, okay, I'll give you. And then what happened actually? So there was once Multan from Multan, which is right now in Pakistan. I'm also Multani, so he was also Multani who came. I just contradicted the whole class. It was like, you should not be proud of your in which year took birth. Yeah, but yeah, and then it's like he was a Multani, and then he came, and then they were with a ship. Their ship was the whole full of the salt, and then they were transmigrating that ship. That, I mean, they were importing or exporting whatever, and then the salt, and then the ship got stuck at a place, and that place was actually near Vrindavan. And then it was like, now it's very difficult how to do this. They went, some children are playing. Again, this Madan Mohan deity is playing there. First it was Madan Gopal, now it is Madan Mohan deity is playing there with the children. And then we were like, okay, what to do? And then they were like, oh, there is a Baba living up on the hill. Go and ask him. So they went to Sanatana Goswami. And then Sanatana Goswami said, oh, this is the deity. He will help you. He's Krishna. He will help you. So they prayed to the deity. And then somehow the assistant of that Multan guy, he came, he was like, oh, our ship is now out of the danger. We are good to go. Then he was like, what should I do now? You saved my life. I mean, and then he was like, okay, give me some salt. That DT was like, give me some salt. And then Sadhana Goswami was like, you did all this just for the salt. You could have manifested it by yourself, but you did all this. But that guy he didn't only give salt, but he was the one who made the temple for Madan Mohanji. And that was the first temple of our Gaudiya Vaishnava and Vrindavan. And yeah, and the second story, Govind Dev Ji. So the Loi Bazaar we have in Vrindavan, if you have ever been to Vrindavan, then there is Loi Bazaar, which is very famous. Why? Because all the devotees buy their clothes from there. and they have all good stuff and everything. But actually, that Loi Bazaar was a Govind Bazaar at that time. So they had a Govind Dev Ji temple there, and then the whole bazaar was only the outfits and ornaments for Govind Dev Ji. So the whole bazaar. And even now, if you go, still some of the shops give some money to Govind Dev Ji temple, which is right now in um Chapel. Yeah. And for Gopinath Ji, interesting fact is the original Gopinath deity was later shifted to Jaipur for protection during Mughal invasions, where it is still worshipped today. Okay, this is not a much interesting fact, but yeah. So these deities, first of all, they all three deities, when Aurangzeb was like Hitler to us. So he came and then he was like from nowhere he got a dream or something and was like, let's just destroy everything, and especially for Hindus. And then he destroyed the whole temples. He started destroying, and then our priest saved those deities. There is long stories. Then deities were kept for some time for Radha Kund, and some time for some forest, some other temples, and then all these deities, all of three deities, are actually shifted to um, Rajasthan. And then Govind Dev Ji and Gopinath Ji are in Jaipur. Madan Mohan Ji is in K. Karoli. Yeah, I always forgets the name. So yeah, but we have the replica deities in Vrindavan. Yes. So and it is the same. It has the same potency. The replica deities and the normal deities. And then we have our acharyas, Srila Sanatana Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Srila Sanatana Goswami born in 1488 in Ramakeli. His name was Amar. And then he's initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lived a life of simplicity and guided devotees through personal examples and teachings. His famous works are Brihad Bhagavamrita and Hari Bhakti Vilas. And his Swarup is Rati Manjari. And then it's actually very contradictory, this Rati Manjari, but when I read the CC Compact by Keshav Maharaj, he has given Srila Sanatana Goswami as Lavanga Manjari. So I'll correct it according to that. So he's a Lavanga Manjari, I believe. Srila Rupa Goswami, born in 1489, and they were brothers, Srila Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. Same Ram Keli. His birth name was Santosh, initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on head. Played a major role in developing devotional literature and guiding future generations. Famous work is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjvala Nilamani, Lalita Madhva. Swarupa is Rupa Manjari. And some also say Rasa Manjari and this as Rati Manjari, but it was confusing. But this was the conclusion which I got at that time. But now I have that book, so I can change. We can read CC Compact. At the last page, Maharaj has given a whole chart, which is very good chart. It's explain all the six Goswami from where they got initiated and everything. So if anyone has any confusion, okay, what Goswami is this? We should go to that page. It's very beneficial. Or else I can share later. And then Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, born in 1495. Then his birth name was Raghunath Das. It was same name. And then initiated by Yadunandan Acharya and guided by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known for his intense dedication, austerity, and deep meditation in Vrindavan. Raghunath Das Goswami was once chanting, and then it was very very sunny. It was like the sun is like at the top, and then it's very hard to bear. And then, but he was just chanting and chanting and chanting. There was no shade on top of him. Radharani came. She shaded our Raghunath Das Goswami with kind of an umbrella thing. And then Sanatan Goswami passed from that place. And then Sanatan Goswami passed from that place. And then he shouted at Raghunath Das Goswami. Because Sanatan Goswami, if you see, it's like a Siksha Guru of all other five Goswamis and everyone. Because he's the eldest, you can say. And then he shouted that the whole time, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you are asking for the service of Radha and Krishna. And you are taking service of them while asking for service from them. So this is not good. We should not do this. And we should not take service from them. So this was the story. And then his famous work is Satavali Dan Keli Chintamani. So Dan Keli is also a place in Barsana, yes. Dankeli was the place where when Krishna, the gopis used to come and then gopis used to have this. And then Krishna is like, from nowhere he has that toll tax company there, and then he's like dan dan dan, and then from there a lot of dan pastimes happen there. And then it's very famous place, and also I believe no, that is different. Yeah. So it is also very nice. And Swarupa is Rasa Manjari. Some also say Rati Manjari. So just leave the Swarupas, please. And then this temple movement history. So these three temple actually moved from one place to another. So Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ji stayed in Vrindavan from 1580 to 1670, almost 90 years. And during Aurangzeb region, the original deity was relocated from Vrindavan to Jaipur and Karoli to safeguard early 18th century. And for Radha Govind Dev Ji, stayed in Vrindavan from 1590 to 1667 during Aurangzeb region. The original deity was relocated from Vrindavan to Jaipur, temporarily stayed at places like Govindpur and Amber, then finally installed in Jaipur. Shri Radha Gopinath Ji stayed in Vrindavan from 1590 to 1670 during Aurangzeb region. The original deity was relocated from Vrindavan to Jaipur, early 18th century. So it's you have to remember only Aurangzeb, no, not these dates. Okay, that he did everything. So the story of these simple roti offered, we already discussed this, and then discovery of Govind Devji's story. So Rupa Goswami was instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to find the lost deities of Govind Devji in Vrindavan. So actually, Rupa Goswami, these two Goswamis got the instruction that you should go and excavate the holy places, the kunds, and all that. You should install the temples which have been lost recently. So, and he was told that you should find the lost deity of Govind Devji. He tried his best, Rupa Goswami. He tried his best. He cannot find. Despite searching, he could not locate the exact place and became worried. Then a small cowherd boy, he's actually the form of Krishna, guided him to spot where a Surabhi cow was pouring milk on the ground every day. So there was a Surabhi cow. So Surabhi cow is, she's from Goloka. And then so they at that time they had Surbi cow, and then that Surbi cow used to come daily, and at one place she used to come and pour the whole milk, and that happened daily. So with that milk drops, that there was a rock. So rock was, if you see go to some river or something, then you see at the side, if there is one drop dropping at a rock, you'll see the rock. If it's like this, it's going like this with only one drop of water. How amazing is that? A rock, you cannot break it like this, but with one drop of it daily, it can go down. So, similarly, our sadhana, we're trying our best daily, right? We cannot break it, so it will take time. So, we'll reach soon. And then the story. And then at that place, a divine voice revealed the exact location, and the deity of Govind Devji was discovered and installed. So when that cowherd boy, who was actually Krishna, told Rupa Goswami that there is the place where the Surbi cow gives milk daily, and then there is our deity of Govind Devji, which you are founding from long time. And then that the voice which came was actually of Baldevji, Balramji, and he said, "Yeah, this is the exact location." When they reached there, this is the exact location. Please do it here. And then they dug out, and then they got the DT. Govind Dev Ji ki jai. And then we have Gopinath Ji. So Gopinath Ji is kind of the same stories how it was found. Actually, I couldn't found the story how it was founded properly, but yeah, I can share the story of Janva Mata. So Janva Mata was actually the wife of Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu was married; he was not a sannyasi. And then Janva Mata. So Janva Mata is the one. She was the first female spiritual master of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, you can say. So Janva Devi was the wife of Nityananda Prabhu and became a key leader after his disappearance. And she guided devotees in spreading Gaudiya Vaishnavism and supported temple worship in Vrindavan and Bengal. In Gaudiya theology, she is revered as an eternal Ananga Manjari. So his roop was Ananga Manjari, devotional assistant of Radha Krishna. She is honored for preserving and strengthening the devotional tradition. The story, what was, so when Janma Mata was spreading Krishna consciousness after Nityananda Prabhu departed and all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went. So at that time, uh, she went to the Gopinath temple, and then she was just standing there. And then during the arti, after the arti, when everyone paid obeisances, everyone woke up. There was no Janma Mata. So they tried to find, but then the priest, uh, with his strong sadhana, he got to know that okay, Janma Mata has been merged with the deity of Radha Gopinath ji. So if you go and see Radha Gopinath ji, then Janma Mata ji is there in those deities. Then conclusion. So this is just the things, and then this is our maybe class. We can end it here. We have a lot to share about these GTs. It's never ending. We can give at least 1.5 hour lecture. Everyone sitting here can give 1.5 lectures on these GTs. And there is a lot to speak on it. So yeah, but we'll stop here, giving respect to their time. Hare Krishna. Yes.
We could go back to the Goswamis, the Goswamis. So, okay, I just wanted to think that Raghunath Goswami got Gopinath Ji, right?
So Gopinath ji was found by Paramananda Bhattacharya. Uh, yeah, he was the disciple of maybe Lokanath Das Goswami. And Paramananda Bhattacharya was the one who was also the kind of Siksha Guru of Rupa and Sanatan. So he explained many Shastras to them. And so both Paramananda Bhattacharya and Madhu Pandit, Paramananda Bhattacharya found it, and they were actually close friends, very intimate close friends. Paramananda Bhattacharya and Madhu Pandit. So Paramananda Bhattacharya was just going, and then he felt something. There is something. Then he dig out, and then he see, oh, there is a deity of Gopinath, and then he told his best friend, okay, Madhu Pandit, I found a deity. And Madhu Pandit was like, oh, he's like in deity worship. And I was like, okay, let me worship that deity. So he started the worship. And then, yeah, that's how the worship was done.
And then Madhupande passed it on to
His lineage. How you can see even now, if you go to the temples, they have their particular Goswamis. They're actually not, if we say not Goswamis properly, Goswami is not a surname. It should not be a surname. It should be a title, right? So you should achieve it, or you should have it. You cannot take Goswami as your surname. That is not how it works. But yeah, it has been in Vrindavan. So yeah, what can we do?
and and Raghunath Goswami, where does he come the so he finds the deity.
No, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything with this deity. His deities were given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which were actually Gunjamala and Govardhan Shila.
So then how does he fit into as an acharya?
That's what I told. So that's the same question I had. So how he is our Prayojanacharya is through his teachings. His teachings are like that. So these are Nitya Siddhas. It's not like before Raghunath Das Goswami appeared on this earth, he was not a Prayojanacharya. He was a Prayojanacharya before. But after that he came, then people realized, then people wrote about it, and then we got to know from them. Okay.
So we three are acharyas of each other.
Yeah.
Mandavali.
Yeah.
And the
So these deities represent these, and these acharyas represent these. Yeah.
Also, was Raghunath Das Goswami one who was given Srimad Bhagavatam by Chaitanya and said that, oh, this is your deity?
I believe that was Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, the son of Tapan Mishra, because yes, he was Raghunath Bhatta Goswami because he was too much into Bhagavatam and he used to recite Bhagavatam daily. And then, but yes, Raghunath Das Goswami is the one who used to give classes on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. And then in those classes, there used to be around more than 50 people, sometimes more than 500 people. But there was one constant person in those classes who was the Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, who gave us Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he heard the whole pastimes from Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami heard these pastimes from Swarup Damodar Goswami, who was the intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the last 18 years in Gambhira, which was in the small room, even smaller than this room. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed for 18 years. And then he just went into ecstasies daily. So there was one pastime, once he went into ecstasies this much. It's very difficult how you can see people drunk and then do this and that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu high on Harinam, it's difficult for them to control the strong people. So there used to be one person every day standing Govinda, maybe Govinda, his name was Govinda, standing outside of Mahaprabhu gate. If Mahaprabhu went outside, I would take care of Mahaprabhu because he's like always into too much ecstasy. He goes here and there. And then maybe me and Vatsal Prabhu was reading the story on the day of maybe uh, our Gaur Purnima maybe. And then the story was it's from Antalila chapter 17 maybe. And then the story is like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in too much ecstasy. So in the whole Antalila is the 18 years in Gambhira. And then the chapter 17, they gives the story of how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got into a shape of tortoise. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he got into too much ecstasy. So he was like he's sleeping and then he woke up and then he was like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare. So he was in ecstasies and then so there were three gates of that place and then he went from one of the gates outside and then he left that place and then there was no coordinator at that gate, so no one noticed it. But they can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even while sleeping used to chant, so they can hear from outside. Okay, this is the way they can see. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is inside. But at that time, they cannot hear anything. They was like, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be sleeping. He should be chanting all the time. So they opened the gate and they called the Ramananda Rai and Suru Damodar Goswami. He's not here. They were like, where he is? Then they went outside to look, and at the same time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into the so there was a bunch of cows in a gaushala kind of thing, like how we have Gerfam gaushala. So and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into those cows like this. He's like half like this, and then he went into those cows, and then he collapsed himself some like this, and then he took a form of a tortoise kind of. His shape was like kind of tortoise. So there was a very good story. And then they Ramananda Rai, Sivru Damodar Goswami, and Govinda maybe went there, and then they took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from there, and then they bring him back. So yeah, there are a lot of stories that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into STCs, did this, did that, and mm, yeah, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the same place he gave the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only wrote 8 verses, which we know as Shikshashtakam, and he have not wrote anything else by his own hands. He has given the teachings, he has explained everything. He has given 1 year to Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and then he has given 10 days to Rupa Goswami as well before. And then he has given 1 month to Sanatan Goswami in Jagannath Puri. He came back after discovering some deities in there. And he has given like this kind of times to these, but most of to these Sanatan and Rupa Goswami because they were the starting of our you can say movement. And Rupa Goswami is our main acharya. We are saying is Rupanugas, so we try to follow Rupa Goswami. And yes, that is the 8 shlokas which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written. And that was given in Gambhira, which was a small room in the place of Kashi Mishra in Jagannath Puri. Any other question or something? Okay, go ahead. Anyone?
So, I heard that Raghunath Goswami, he left his home.
Hmm.
Of course, first he left his home, then Mahaprabhu said that go and
Hmm.
take some responsibility. But then I heard that he left his home, but his parents didn't die. Like, he said that after his parents, he took care of his parents after death, then he went.
So, what is the story? He used to leave his house daily. So, he used to leave his house daily. So, the narrator who might have narrated this, so he might have said he left. But actually, I can still again confirm, as you have said. But what I remember is like he took care of his parents and then after that he came back. Or else, how can they show, right? That we have followed. It was an instruction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So I believe they might have completed that instruction. What I can think is.
The instruction was that at the right time, you will get. So he didn't, yeah, then he acted very
Hmm.
give time to everyone. And after when he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then his parents sent a lot of this military men, this and that.
Yeah.
There's a story about somebody stole something and his Guru Maharaj and him went there, but the Guru was like, okay, I have some work, let me go get it. So now nobody's here. Let me go. He ran. If like he ran means he had parents. Like no parents, then okay, let me take one Ghoda and go.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. You right. I might be contradicting it with Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. So it could be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be like that. So I'll apologies for that. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for correcting it. Yes, Brun Prabhu.
Yeah, can you share the thing which you mentioned in that Padimanjana or something? If you have.
Yes, I will go home and I'll click a picture and then I'll send you. Yeah, right now I don't have picture. Yes.
Yes, and I think after a long time we're dealing about Goswami, so thank you so much.
We can talk about Jiva Goswami a little bit. So Jiva Goswami, so recently I heard of Radha Damodar temple. So I was searching of Radha Damodar temple to get some information. It's very difficult to get information of Radha Damodar temple. Even though Prabhupada lived there for 6 months and 6 years, sorry, 6 years. So Prabhupada used to live at Vamshigopal temple first when he came from there, and then he lived there for around 2 months. And then he shifted to the Radha Damodar temple. Then he lived there for 6 months. And the Damodar temple is very special to us. Why? Because it has first of all the samadhi of Rupa Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Bhurga Goswami, Bhurga Goswami, Bhugarbha Goswami, yeah, Bhugarbha Goswami, and a lot of other acharyas of there. And then we have the deity of the Govardhan Shila, which was given to Sanatan Goswami by Krishna. So Sanatan Goswami used to do Govardhan Parikrama daily, not the 20 kilometers. At that time, it was 45 kilometers. He used to do that daily at that age. So then Krishna was like, you're doing too much with your body. This body is, you should just stay here and then speak something or do something else. Then he gave a deity. He actually gave the Govardhan Shila. And then on that Govardhan Shila, it's Krishna's footprints are there. And then he gave that Govardhan Shila to Sanatan Goswami. And then Sanatan Goswami took that deity and then he said, if you do 4 parikarmas of this, and then you will be done with the whole Govardhan Parikrama. So even if you go to Radha Damodar temple, you do 4 parikramas, you have done that, the whole. But yeah, we should do the Govardhan as well. We are young, right? So we can do it. And then uh, the Radha Damodar temple has a lot of deities. They have Radha Madhav deities. So Radha Madhav deities are the deities which were worshipped by Krishna Das Goswami Maharaj. And then we have Radha Chail Chicken, which was worshipped by Bhugarb Goswami. And then we have Radha Damodar deities, which were worshipped by Jeev Goswami, but were actually made by Rupa Goswami, carved by his own hands. Rupa Goswami had only one disciple, which was Jeev Goswami. And Jeev Goswami was also there. So, how it was, Sanatan Goswami, Amar, Santosh, and Vallabha. So, these three were brothers, real brothers. Jiva Goswami is the son of Vallabha, the third. And then, Jiva Goswami is the nephew of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. And then once they were like, now you have to give initiation, they were like, no, I can't. But then everyone forced, you should give Jiva Goswami. Then he was like, okay, you have to do this menial service. So he used to massage Jiva Goswami feet, Rupa Goswami feet daily, washes clothes, washes utensils, and do everything. And used to clean the Seva Kunj where we have this temple, and then clean the Seva Kunj and everything of Radha Damodar temple, outside of Radha Damodar temple. And then after that 1 year of that continuously service, no sick days, no nothing. And then he initiated him, Jiva Goswami. And then from that day, and Jiva Goswami is one of the top, you can say, scholars in India ever had. But that was said by Keshav Maharaj that, yeah, he's the top. He has written more than 400,000 shlokas. New. It's not like he has. And he has written those 400,000 shlokas only from the teachings of Rupa and Sanatan, from nowhere else. So it's so crazy how these Goswamis has done this much. And yeah, it's crazy. I believe we should stop. Yeah, it's too much time. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhayasya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo